Oh, live. I was zoned out, man. Mina, ohayo gozaimasu. Konbanwa. It's late there. I was really zoned out for a second. I didn't even realize I joined in. So, microphone check, microphone check. 1 2 1 2. CKB. You were watching DKB TV. This is a live episode of Smoke Your Best Cigars. So, as always, we got to allow the algorithm to do what the algorithm does, get the message out to the people. I didn't tell anybody I was going live. I just pop on. That's just kind of what I do. That's just my method. And those who know, they know. They pop in, they will show up. Hopefully, everybody can hear me, and it's not just cicadas. There's a lot of cicadas making noise out here. So I did what I could. Hopefully, the volume is okay. Uh, Today, I'm going to smoke a special cigar. It's the Opus X Fuente Fuente Shark. You guys know how I am about the shark. So, shouts out to everybody that's joined in so far. I try to get on at a time where everybody could get on East Coast, Central, West Coast. Maybe if you're in another country somewhere outside of the United States, if you're in Japan, you can get on. Paul is up in here. Oh, Paul, man, hold up. I'm gonna put that up, man. That's crazy. That's dope. Paul, thank you very much, man. That means a lot. It really does, especially since I don't put out content the way that I used to. Right now, I'm just kind of here to chop it up and have fun. So, Paul, I hope you know, man, that I sincerely appreciate that. And for anybody that is a content creator and just a person that is that's valuable, brother. So that means a lot, Paul. Like for real, that's huge, bro. Isashiburi, long time no see, homie. What up, man? How you been, bro? What's goody in the hoodie? You out there trucking somewhere, man? Everything good? You safe? Let me know. Dang, man, that's a good way to start this one, man. Just seeing old faces and getting a compliment like that, man. I can't tell you how much that means to me. I'm actually kind of excited to light this up. Albert is up in the place to be. What up, man? Peace to you. How are you? I'm good, man. I'm straight. I got a new lighter. I got the lighter from Crown Heads. Shout out to John Huber for that. So I'm back on deck, and it is about 10:30 in the morning here in Japan. Hopefully, I'm gonna be going to Nagasaki in a little bit later on today. The fam and I are probably gonna walk around in Chinatown, do a little bit of shopping, eat a little bit, and I might even go to the Peace Museum, man. We're gonna see if that pops off. Let me see what Paul said. Said no problem, dude. I'm smoking the 1926 5x60. That's an La Glora Cubana Soberano. You smoking good, man. That's what's up. That 1926 is solid, man. Everybody knows that I'm like not the biggest Padron fan out there, but it's a solid cigar. I really don't hate on the cigar like it seems like. So you smoking good, man. That's a big ring gauge. You're not playing. So that's love, man. Smoke your best. That's what we do. You smoke the best cigars. Mm, 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 mm. I must say, I'm happy to light this bad boy up. You saying your favorites are the Padrones? And I'm not mad at that, man. And I get why. Even when I did that whole video about the Padron and about how there are different options to Padron, and most people, put Padron as their favorite. I get why. Consistency is key. And I say that a lot. I don't want this, to repeat myself too much. I try to avoid that as much as possible. Just being that when you're making content like this, especially off the cuff, it's very easy to get repetitive and say the same things over and over. But I do want people to know that, like, I do respect Padron. I don't think they're the best in the world, but I understand why people love Padron the way they love Padron. You dig? And I get it. I guess it's the same reason why I love Fuente. You know what I mean? I also want to get started, man. I want to give a big shout out to uh, DJ at Pick Jimmy Cigars, and give a shout out to John at Cigar Alchemist. Both of these guys are really good dudes, and compared to what I do in this cigar space, man, these guys are very talented and have been putting out some really good work as far as just making content. But on the back end, man, both of them, just kind of lost their jobs suddenly. And the way the community came out to support was major. So I appreciate everybody that went out to support these guys to help them get back on their feet, take care of their family. And, both of these guys are going back to work very soon. So I wanted to give a big, congratulations, to my friends and say that I'm happy for them. And I'm also happy that the community, the cigar community kind of came together to look out for these dudes to make sure everybody was good, man. That it's a real divisive time right now. And I was debating on whether I wanted to talk about some serious topics or not, but I may get into that. We're gonna see how the flow of the conversation goes. But I do want to, say having people come together to help other people out in a time of need is a special thing. I wish everybody, would support other people that way. And it's just such a good thing to see that happen and people come together and to see my friends get in a space where they can, breathe a little bit and take a load off to know everything's gonna be all right. So that's what I wanted to show love for my homies for that, man. They may not even see this. You know what I'm saying? And I talk to them behind the scenes, but this is for everybody else and just to show love to the homies, man. Greg is up in the place to be. What up, man? It's good to see you. You working hard behind the scenes, man. It's a lot of networking going on, man. It's good to see you all around out there, man. It's a lot of stuff going on, so that's really cool. Man, I'm like, I tell you guys, I'm not the biggest fan of the Opus X line, but a shark makes everything better, man. I just love this blend. he's a, he's an extra hard. Well, I'm glad you're taking a moment out to chill with me for a second, Greg. I appreciate that, man. What you got going on? That's cool, man. That grind is necessary, man. You gotta grind. You gotta network. Man, that's really good. It's a lot more cedary than I remember. But there's an interesting note that's in there that I can't put my finger on yet. Maybe it'll come to me. It's not an eye of the shark. It's definitely not that. But damn, this is a beautiful cigar. You talking about the shark, Paul? Is it saying that or Fuente Opus X is one of your favorites? Man, that's nice. So yeah, the hustle is hard work, but so much fun in the industry. Yeah, I can't lie, man. I'm jealous. I can't lie. I'm jealous because I think a lot of people kind of lose sight of the fact that when you find a career, right? When you are in a position, I think the most important goal is for people to get into a field that they want to be in, to do something they love. If you love science, you should be in science. If you love cooking, you should cook somewhere. If you love cigars, it will be good to be in the cigar industry. That you're always gonna have to grind. You're always gonna have to work. But when you find something you love, man, when you're in the industry that cares about you as much as you care about it, and you find that synergy, it's not much that's much better than that, man. When I was a butcher, damn, it's a beautiful cigar. When I was a butcher, I would wake up, man, and I would go to work, and I would open the shop at let's say, I'm trying to think back to that time frame, man. I would be in there maybe 6 in the morning, sometimes 7 in the morning, open up the shop, breaking everything down. If I had to load in, like different primals and all that kind of stuff, I would load them in. If I had to clear out my, my walk-in, cut steaks, whatever I was doing, set up the cabinet. If I had to grind meat, whatever I had to do for that day, like, whatever my prep was to get this shop open, make sure that, the cases were set, make sure that everything was presentable, make sure all the, the prices were set up there, make sure I had the schedule for the day, check, all the schedule to see if, people had special orders, if I had to do, like a crown or, if I had to trust for that day, whatever I had to do. Then the shop opens up and you go through the whole shop and you grind and you're working hard in the shop and you're trying to check off everything on your list and you're trying to prep food for the, for the cook side and all that kind of stuff like that. Trying to make sure the dishwasher is all set up. Then you had to break down at the end of the day, and I would go home for an hour. I would sit with my wife and my kids for an hour, eat whatever I was going to eat if I didn't eat family meal. And then I would go back and my friend, had a ramen shop, and I would go sit in there and I would help serve ramen and I would be a host. And then some days at the end of the day, when that was done, I would have to teach a course. I would teach people how to break down meat. I would teach people, what different cuts were available for food and all that kind of stuff like that. And then I would go home and sometimes it was like 11, 12 o'clock at night. And I would get up and I would do the thing again the next day. And never got tired. And I never got tired because I love that field so much. And I love my job and I love the people that I work with. I could grind and I could work all day long and I never got tired. And that is just like when you in a space like that, like I miss that. Like I miss that feeling. I miss that feeling. Like just like, yo, I can get up and just like, I just want to do this. I just want to go. You know what I mean? So let me see what everybody else is talking about here. I just had to connect with what Greg was saying. I'm looking forward to the PAX, Greg. No doubt. I think everybody is, man, especially with the Unbanded, man. That's going to be major. I'm excited. And just in general, man, I love seeing my peers do well, I love seeing these cats that's just like, coming up with creative ideas and, doing stuff that is just not just for themselves, doing stuff to push it out to all the viewers and all the cigar smokers out there and people working together, man. It's chef's kiss. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, man. I'm digging the cigar. I get happy when I smoke these cigars, man. So I'm with you 100%. Look, man. I know Opus are really expensive, but hey, you smoking for Padron, so it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that big of a deal. I would make it a point to go out there. If you're not worried about spending money on Padron, then Opus is right there in your wheelhouse. If you can get your hands on the Shark, get your hands on the Shark. If you can find some of the different Opus X that are out there, they're not my favorite. But I love them. Like I still love Fuente, and it might work for your palate, man. Just it's completely different than what you're gonna get with a Padron. It's not nearly as robust. It's gonna be a lot, lighter and a lot smoother, but it still might be something that might suit your palate, homeboy. It might be worth it. Charlie up in the place to be. Yo. What up, though? What up, homie? Peter M is up in the spot, man. Showing love to everybody that's in the chat, man. Thank y'all for joining in. Such a good feeling to do what you enjoy, indeed, man. It's like when you wake up every day, man, and you're surrounded by the stuff that you love, man. And like it was just a beautiful feeling for me. I would imagine it's like when you go in and you open up your humidor and your humidor is set the way that it's supposed to be. You got everything lined up the way that it's supposed to be. Everything is presentable. That smell of the humidor, when it hits you, or when you open up the shop, it just smells like, okay, nobody's been in here yet, and you just smell nothing but tobacco. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was like when I worked in the butcher shop, man. I would just open up, my walk-in, and I could smell the herbs that I would have, or I could smell the meat that I would have just sitting there when it's sorry, my brain is not firing the way that it should. But when I'm curing bacon, or if I'm, drying beef, or if I got sausages working, and like and all of that is just hitting me out of that walk-in. I'm just like, I can smell it right now. You feel me? And I can only imagine it would be the same way, walking into a humidor. That's a beautiful thing. Shouts out, man. Peace to Albert. Okay, where were you? Yo, I wonder if somebody, like, I had a feeling that somebody saw me in there. That's crazy. Yeah, I was there, man. I do want to know what your opinion is with no spoilers. What did you think about Deadpool? Because I was sitting there and I had the Cornetta hat on, right? So I was like, yo, I wonder if somebody gonna recognize me in this hat. Bam. That's crazy. That's crazy. I know I saw you too, man, but I didn't place it. I didn't place your fit. Dog, if you that close, why didn't you just say what up, man? Like, I'm approachable, bro. I'm approachable, man. All right, he thought it was very good. That's what I'm going to get to. He thought it was very good. It was a lot. Wait, no, because that can. I thought you were in front of me. The Hispanic woman. There was a Hispanic couple sitting in front of me, and there was another group that was sitting behind me. I didn't really look back very often. That's the thing. I didn't look back very often. I always got my headphones in. Always got my headphones in. It's amazing I don't have them right now. It's only because they charge it. So yeah, that's those things go with me everywhere. That's crazy. Look, man, you should have said something, bro. Dude, it was a lot of y'all. It says a black dude with a Hispanic woman. It was a couple of y'all in there. Were you in that group that was talking shit the whole time? It was a group behind me that was just talking cash. That was like that's funny, man. That's funny. I'm really disappointed that you ain't just say EKB what up or Keelan what up, man. You could have just said something, just patted me on the shoulder, whatever, man. That's cool. That's crazy. But yeah, the movie, man, the movie was good. But for me, man, I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody that haven't seen Deadpool yet. I don't want to spoil it for everybody. But I will put it in the same vein for all the comic book fans that's out there. That's the last Spider-Man joint. What was it? Was it Homecoming? I will put it in the same vein as Homecoming. For the comic book heads, for the comic book fans that like that got comic book history and all that kind of stuff. I bet. For all the people that got comic books, it's worth it. There's going to be some treats in there for you. And it was fun to watch, but it wasn't like the savior for Marvel Comics and the Marvel comic book universe like everybody is expecting it to be. The cinematic universe, let me say it that way. It wasn't like, it was cool. It was a good movie. It was something to watch. What up, homie? But it was a welcome change, though. Just the fact that they made it R-rated, I think that it was going to be a welcome change. They're going to make a ton of money off of this movie. But I think when everything dies down, when everything gets to the point where a lot of the hype, kind of goes away, there's going to be some people that, couldn't watch this movie again. It's like, I already seen it once, I'm done. And there's going to be people that absolutely fall in love with it. Let me see what Shock is saying. What up, Shock? Yeah, man. I was trying to get on like where people could get on today, man. That was my main thing. I wanted to get on where a lot of people could really like come on and just kind of hang with me for a while, man. Like I'm trying to get the best times for everybody, man. So I'm glad you made it, bro. It's always good to see you. Like you a day one, like literally a day one. So I appreciate you being here. God, man, this is like I love sharks, man. I really do. I really do. Like I look this cigar up just to kind of see what was different from, like an Eye of the Shark or the Añejo or whatever. And the Opus Shark has a sun-grown wrapper. They didn't give a lot of specs, but I looked up this old half-wheel article from 2018, and this was a $16 cigar. $16 for Fuente Opus X Shark. Can y'all believe that? Like that, and that at the time was like paying premium for your cigar just in 2018. So that Opus Shark is a nice smoke. I'll pull out the pipe tonight though. Oh, you going fancy? You trying to? I see you getting fancy shot. All right, no, I'm not a pipe guy. I think it's a cool vibe, but it's not my thing. But that pipe tobacco smells so good, man. So I kind of get that, man. What's the occasion that made you decide to go with the pipe? What is that? Just the mood you was in? You just felt like kicking back. I know it's what was it? Is it Friday night for you guys? Clay is up in the place to be. Let me say what up to the homie right here. Clay, what up? Love and passion. Mwah. It's funny that you said that because I've been talking about the love and passion so much that I was honestly thinking of just kind of going back just to have that cigar again. And the last few lives that I've been on, not just mine, but with Fred, with the infamous crew, and you've been on quite a few, I've been saying that every time I smoke that cigar, I forget how good it is until I smoke it again. And I'm like, yo, I love this cigar. And that's just kind of a strange thing, Most cigars are kind of stay with you. And but for whatever reason, that cigar is almost like having it again for the first time. Every time. It's like, man, it hits. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do right now, man. That's such a good cigar to me. Smoking your best. I love it. Lawrence, what up, homie? What's good, man? What about y'all, man? What is everybody else lighting up, man? So we got a pipe. We had Padron 1926. We got the Love and Passion from Saj Patel. I didn't get to see it, man. So are y'all kicking back and watching all the Olympic stuff right now? My whole schedule is completely off. So like Ian just said that he saw that I was out last night watching Deadpool. So I went to see Deadpool, went to check that out. Came home and I pretty much crashed after that. And so a lot of the stuff that is happening in the States is happening while I'm asleep. So I've been missing a whole lot that's been going on. Let me see what Shock was saying right here. Shock said, I'm in chill mode tonight, bro. Dude, I know the feeling. I'm not mad at that. He said, I've been wanting something different and couldn't decide on a cigar, so the pipe it is. I like your train of thought. I like the way that works. Sometimes you just gotta zigzag a little bit. You gotta kind of shake and go a different direction. Def, what up, man? I'm chilling, man. I just wanted to grab a cigar, kind of celebrate for the homies, smoke my best, early in the morning. And I felt like the Opus was the right way to go. Okay, you doing it big. So I got another homie with the shark right here. Shouts out to you, Lawrence. That's my all-time favorite. We got Big Fred up in the place to be. Fred, what's cracking? What up, homie? What you lighting up tonight? Hold up. Let me not skip Peter M. Say he lighting up the Armadale Fuego Toro. That's money right there. That's some heat. That's literally a great choice, man. I'm glad y'all are lighting up with me and gonna sit back and enjoy something with me. Hoya de Nicaragua Antonio tonight. Chef's kiss. Such an underrated cigar. Moses up in here showing love to everybody. Moses, what up, though? Shock said, I picked up a couple Opus Sharks last year for $25 each. See what I'm saying? I had to buy a couple of the Fuentes to get them at the price, but it was worth it. It's you know, I see the deal right there in itself just because you get more Fuentes. You know what I'm saying? But you actually still get a shark. I just hate that the price jumped, from $15 to $25. That's crazy. You know what I mean? In just that short amount of time. But supply and demand, that is what it is. That's what happens when it comes to business, man. So I don't know, bro. I got some Los Calaveras 24s fresh in. I mean, I know John wasn't really digging that cigar. But it's for me, Fred, that's those things you got to smoke for yourself. And if you got, multiple, my thing, if I was you, I would light one up fresh off the truck or fresh out the box or fresh out of the humidor just to see how it's going to do. And then let the other one sit for a little bit to see if if it gets any more complexity to it or whatever. I'm very curious about that Las Calaveras, 2024, because really it's been a good run with that Las Calaveras line. I love the La Imperiosa. I love the Las Calaveras, that I've had. Last year was really good. The 2023 was smoking, but I'm kind of interested to see now that the 24 has been released, like what the zeitgeist is gonna say. So I'm kind of curious to see what people are gonna say about that, man, and how that's gonna, the story is gonna tell when people really start smoking it. Okay, what? So Greg, you're saying that the 2024 is better than the 2023, but not as good as the 2015. Really? Interesting. I got a few more, like I think I got everything from like 2018 to the 2023 sitting in the humidor right now. So it's gonna be nice to kind of go back. I had a couple extras. I had, that were laying around, but I'm gonna send those out to John just so he can smoke a few of those because he hasn't had as many. So I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit and I'm gonna come back to you, work. I didn't forget about you, homie. So he said, yeah, okay. Well, that's I thought the 23 was a banger. So to say that about the 24, I know I gotta try it now. I'm super curious. Let me go back to work. Says up, man. I'm working my way to the Opus, but I'm burning this Aganorsa Supreme Leaf Robusto. How long have you had that Robusto? That's what I'm curious about. Is that like an OG Robusto that you've been sitting on for a minute? And I really, honestly, I hope it is. Because just they've been, he said it's no slouch. I bet I see that. It's really like the Supreme Leaf, man. I don't know what's going on with Aganorsa, man, especially with the Supreme Leaf. That it just kills me every time because that was their best cigar easily. They had some nice ones like the Rare Leaf and all that, and the Signature series was really nice. I got a couple of those from like, I don't know, maybe like 2020, 2019, 2020, something like that I've been holding on to ever since. And one of these days I'm gonna smoke those again. I let them get some serious age on it, some nice patinas on that. But the Supreme Leaf really kind of fell off, man. Like that OG Toro, the OG Robusto, the Bellicoso that they had were really good. So I don't know. I hope that's an OG, man. We're gonna get back to it. The homie Shock said, how was the 24 Los Calaveras? Sending it out to Fred. So, I'm going to let Fred rock with that. Everybody saying it's no sound. He said he's going to find out in a sec. Who was saying that? Fred saying the Perfecto is fire. I don't know, Fred. the most recent Supreme lease that I had, the Parejo, I didn't dislike. I thought it was okay, but I only had like 2, and the first one was really good. The second one was like whatever, and I think I had a Perfecto once, I think, and it was just like it wasn't memorable to me. So he said, "Nah, it's a fresh one. I hope it's good, bro, and you can let me know that if it's smoking like it used to." Well, never mind. I got my answer. I bet. Yeah, dude, you're not alone. Honestly, you're not alone, and a lot of other people have been saying that. And look, don't get me wrong. I got nothing. I got nothing but love for John Huber. I got nothing but love for Crown Heads. I think right now the main thing that's holding everything afloat for Crown Heads right now is that Mil Diaz Maduro. That Mil Diaz Maduro is perfection. It's absolutely outstanding. The Coronetta Maduro, I wasn't really feeling like that. I liked the Habano, but it wasn't killer, but it was good. I haven't had the 24 yet, so for the Los Calaveras, so that's gonna be the thing. The blood medicine, I'm okay with. I've enjoyed it. I've had it a couple of different times, and it was cool, so I'm not mad at it. But I'm used to Crown Heads batting at a higher rate than what they're batting at right now. But look, man, you can't bat 1,000 every year. It just don't work like that. So what's up? Puffing on Nika Rustica. It's always a classic, man. Can't be mad at that, man. Thank you for coming out there to hang out with me. And smoke your best, man. I really appreciate that. All right, everybody showing love to Fred right there. That's what's up. That's what's up. He said I caught one of the last 2 Placencia 146 at the BM today. See how that stacks up with the 151. To me, it's gonna outsmoke that 151. And I'm just giving my opinion on this. So don't let me skew your perspective or feel like I'm being disagreeable with you. I do not like that 151. That was probably one of the worst cigars that I've had this year. I did not enjoy it. I didn't like it at all. That 146 and the 149, the Cortez that I recently had the other day, enjoyed those highly. So I really think you're really gonna dig that 146. That's just my opinion, and I hope you really enjoy it. That 151, man, was not it for me at all. He said I like the Agnosis Supreme Leaf Torpedo. The ones after that didn't really hit for me. I hope they're getting better with time too. Yeah, because look, all of them shock that I have right now in the humidor, I haven't touched, man. I got several different Vitolas in there, all sitting together, and I haven't touched them for a while. I don't have the Parejo anymore, and I don't have the Perfecto anymore, but I wasn't really feeling them. I still got one more of the one that they released with Pravada that was like a Corona Gorda, and I thought that one was gonna hit, but it wasn't it for me, man. So I just don't know, man. Like that cigar to me, when it first came out, and I know I was kind of buying into the hype a little bit, but I really feel like I took my own time to enjoy that cigar and multiple Vitolas, and I loved it at the time. There was a couple years ago, you couldn't tell me shit about the Supreme Leaf. You know what I'm saying? So to have it to the point where it's like I barely even pick them up now, even when I have some of the better Vitolas and I know they have some age to them, and I know they're from the original batch, I still don't really go back to them like that. In due time, I'll light them up. JB, man, what up, man? Thank you for joining in, man. Appreciate y'all coming in, yo. That's the homie right there. Yeah, that Mil Diaz Maduro is legit. Cousin Scotty, what up, cuz? I do, man. I do. Honestly, I can't really like get cigars here. Not where I am right now. Maybe one of these days I'll do another tour to a cigar place, and I'll take a trip up to Fukuoka. It's about 2 hours away. Maybe I'll do one of those videos where I just do the whole blog thing, and I go check out a spot, see what kind of cigars they have, and I may buy some cigars out there. I might buy some Cubans. I'll do a Cuban run. So that might be the thing to do. I just haven't been to Fukuoka and haven't been in a place where I had time to really make any kind of content like that. But where I am here in Sasebo, I can't get any cigars. So it is what it is. So all the cigars that I've gotten recently, sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead. All the cigars that I've gotten recently have come from the U.S. People sending me cigars, cats sending out boxes, sending out stuff to try. Shouts out once again to Black Label Trading Company for the Orthodox. That Orthodox was absolute money, man. That's a great cigar. So that's one that's recently come from the States. I gotta put this up because I didn't like it either. I thought it was doo-doo too. So yeah, that 149 is crazy. It is bananas. It's absolutely bananas. He said, bro, I can't wait until we smoke that Martinique though. Yeah, it's coming, man. We definitely gonna do that. I got the Martinique just waiting. Man, you know what? I gotta go in there. Oh no, I know where it is. I was about to say I gotta go find it. I know where it is. I just rearranged my humidor the other day. I know exactly where it is. So, but just let me know when Marvin is ready, man, so we can get it popping. 146, 149 is fire. The 151 seems like the tobacco needs to age just a bit longer. Look, dude, that's what I thought about the Mil Diaz Maduro. Not Mil Diaz Maduro, but the Cornetta Maduro. I don't think that's it, man. I just think that's what the blend is going to be. We're going to see in time, but I don't think that blend is actually going to change and do anything. I think that's just what it is, man. It just tastes like Honduran dirt. Sometimes it's just what it is. Roy said he about to re-up. Any suggestions on for Placencia? I'm a Forte smoker. Didn't you ask this the other day? If you're gonna spend a little bit of money, homie, I was gonna say, get the Atabey Maduro. I would recommend getting the Olmec Maduro. I would recommend also getting the Olmec Maduro. I had that in mind. The Mil Diaz Maduro, if you can find that, I would definitely get that. I would try what everybody's talking about, the Placencia 149. I would definitely go that route. Saka Khan. I would go with the Saka Khan or the Todos Los Dias. I think those would treat you really good, man. I think that would be a good way to go. Let me know how those work out for you. My mail getting backed up because of flooding somewhere in the Midwest. Got 3 packages just floating out there. UPS sucks ass. Dude, I went through that for years while I was out here, just like fresh after the pandemic. And so I know what that feels like, man. Just be patient. They'll get it to you. What they say, rain, sleet, or snow, and all that. It'll come, man. It's just frustrating that you just waiting on packages. And I got one coming to you too. I just haven't put everything together. I got 3 packages that I got to send out right now, and I just ain't had the dough to send it out. So I got you coming. Let me see. He said, finally some good company while I smoke this pipe. You smoking the pipe tonight too? We got Shock and Peter smoking the pipe, man. That's what's up, man. I'm not joining the pipe game, man, but I like seeing that everybody lighting these pipes up. I think that's dope, man. Thank you for keeping me company too, Peter, man. Appreciate you, homeboy. Let's see what else we got here. So, all right, chat. What do you guys think for second smoke? We got the Aganorsa 6 Select Maduro. We got the Nika Rustica or Old Blend of the Wise Man. I'm gonna say the Wise Man, bro. That's my opinion on that. That Wise Man is money, especially since it's the older one. So that's everybody showing love. Let's see. We got marinating meat for the grill tomorrow. What cuts you got, man? Y'all saw I've been grilling a lot lately. If y'all was like watching on Instagram, I've been grilling a lot. I had the sorry, I gotta ask real quick. I let this go out. I've been doing skirt steak a lot lately. That's what I've been grilling. I mean, because like my selection of meat here isn't that great, especially with the commissary that I got a shop from. But oh, dude, I've been doing Wagyu too. I've like my wife got this idea, man. We got French bread, and we've been getting Wagyu, and we slap that on the grill real quick, and then we slice that up, and then we'll put that just on the French bread that's being made out here, fresh French bread. Dude, when I tell you, that's been outstanding. And we had boneless beef back ribs. I've been doing a spice rub on that, so I've been grilling that up a lot. And I had the red meat lovers the other day, man. I got like 140 something likes on that picture. I was not expecting that, man. I was just having fun out there grilling. So that's mad cool. So let me know what kind of cuts you got that you're gonna be throwing on the grill. Said I saw Marvin. Of course, y'all know the Bearded Cigar. You might know him as Cron Don reviewed the Martinique. As soon as he said he got pancakes, I said to try it. Yo, dude, like that cigar is serious, man. I think that's a good way to describe that. I don't know if I remember, like pancakes like that, but it's a delicious cigar. And who knows, when we light it up together, when myself, Fred, and Marvin smoke that together, I want to see if I get the same thing. So that's crazy. That's what's up, though. You said it's cooler outside tonight. I wanted to feel fancy. Nah, no doubt. yeah, that wise man. Oh, I'm gonna get to this. That Wagyu. I'm telling you, man. That's one beautiful thing about Japan. Just being able to just go to the store and just pick up Wagyu like it's nothing. Like it's just right there. And the meat selection is completely different because a lot of it is done for yakiniku, and yakiniku only means grilled meat. But like the way they do grilled meat out here is kind of like the Korean style, where it's really thinly sliced and you just hit it real quick, and it takes you no time at all to cook it. So it's delicious, man. I don't know if you all ever had like yakiniku style meat, but I can just go to the store like right down the street. I walk down there, come back with some fresh meats and slap them on a hot skillet or slap them on the grill. In seconds, I got a nice, got a nice little meal going. Get some rice, get some kimchi or some natto, and I go to town, brother. That's good eats. JD jerk, ribs, and ribeye. So there's a spot here called Caldi. It's kind of like a Spanish store that's here in Japan. I don't know if it's like a store that they took from somewhere, like in Mexico or some Spanish country or whatever. But it's like nothing but condiments out there. And I just got this jerk mix. I usually make my own jerk seasoning, but I'm gonna make some jerk too. I'm probably gonna jerk those ribs that I got, and I ain't told my wife that I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna jerk up those ribs. So eat good, man. You making some rice and peas to go with it? You got some plantains? You got some plantains? What you doing with that? Hold on. Yo, look, man. That's mad funny. Yeah, look. I talk food just as much as I talk cigars, Mathis. You know how it goes, man. Y'all know how much I love food, man. I mean, what's better than like sitting back with a good cigar, sitting back with some good drink, and sitting back with some nice food, man. That's heaven on earth, man. That's gonna be the one thing. Like whenever my time comes and I got a headstone, they're gonna say he loved good, he smoked good, he ate good. I mean, it is what it is. But now that y'all talking, I'm kind of excited to do that jerk on those ribs, man. That jerk is gonna be money. Jerk beef ribs. Now I got to think of the size that I'm gonna put with it. My wife makes some banging mac and cheese. My wife's mac and cheese is like out of this world. She put like 7 different cheeses in that joint. She put some Gouda in there. Of course, we do the sharp cheddar, mozzarella. She puts the queso in there. It's a lot. And it's sharp and it's really, man, it's creamy. It's outstanding. Fred getting love in here. Look, man, look. And you can't go wrong with that, yo. But see, the only thing is like I don't think I've seen plantains out here. So I really want some really good plantains. That would be like phenomenal right now. But I'll make a way. I'll find a way to do something. Everybody showing love. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, man, go ahead and jerk them up, man. You know what I mean? Rude boy thing, you know. Jerk it up, boss man. That's the way if you do it, fam. You know. Tough things are going, man. Cool runnings. Seeing damn some jerk, some jerk chicken ribs, rib eyes. Got me drooling. Now you can't be talking about jerk ribs. What? That's what we do, man. We talk good food. We talk good cigars. Gonna grill up some cheesesteaks tomorrow. Now that's something I haven't had. And yo, JD, you just gave me the best idea. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Y'all ready to get hungry? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this Wagyu, right? I'm gonna throw the Wagyu on the grill, and I'm gonna get some cheese. I gotta figure out what kind of cheese I'm gonna do with this because it can't be too oily because the Wagyu is already gonna be mad oily. I gotta get it, a semi-dry cheese, and I'm gonna chop it up, and I'm gonna take that same bread that I was just telling you that my wife got, and I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna make Phillies out of Wagyu, homie, and I'm gonna put that online when I do that. So I'm gonna make some Phillies out of Wagyu Phillies, fam. Do you hear what I'm talking about right now? Do you hear that? Wagyu Phillies, baked beans, potato salads, mac and cheese for the sides. That sounds like some good love right there, homie. My homie the other day just made some baked beans with bacon in that joint, man. We was sitting back, we was eating good, man. Said Wagyu, the real CEO baller here now. It's crazy because you got different tiers of the Wagyu. You got like A5 and all that kind of stuff like that. A lot of this is not gonna be like A5. And I missed my spot back when I lived in Kanagawa, man. There was a place called the OK where I could just go there and I can get A5 Wagyu at a decent price. I mean, it's still expensive, but it was a lot better than a lot of the other places, man. But it's still delicious, and it was still really good. That's what I did when I did the when I did the Meat Lovers video. I went down to that store and got some A5 Wagyu at a pretty good cost, and the yen rate is down really low right now, so it's not too baller. Yo, what up, my homie Steven up in here, man? What up, homie? You in the place to be. You in the house right now. He said, "Hey, bro, I had lettuce wrap double Wagyu slider. Ooh, that sounds phenomenal, man. And it was made with absolute love and the purest of hearts. That's that like water for chocolate, man. You're eating good. Somebody doing it just right." Coop's Corner. What up, Coop? Said baked beans with peaches in them are money. I've never had that. I'm trying to I pause because I'm trying to see how that sweet sour is gonna do. I've never had that. That sounds interesting. That's one I gotta try to see if I'm gonna like it. I don't know off the top of the head. I gotta try it. You said a Wagyu Philly. You eating high on the hog. He said, "Yeah, I'm country as fuck, but you from the South, so you know what it is. No doubt. No doubt." That's an old classic too, man. But look, man, it's one of those things that if I'm getting that in the States, then yeah, like eating that out here is just like every day, man. It's like every day. It ain't even crazy like talking about. But a Wagyu Philly fam, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. We got to do it. Oh, okay. So Lawrence, you know all about that too, right? You know about those baked beans too, right? All right, that's what's up. This is why I enjoy, man. That's why I love kicking back with y'all, man, because I can just kick it and have fun like that. Smoke your best cigar, talk some good food. It's been nice to get out on the grill, man. Like I haven't been cooking. I haven't been cooking like I used to. So let me see what this is saying right here. Hold up. Let me pull that up real quick. He said, "I never had it until I tried it at a barbecue spot." I've seen it, man. When you watching other cooks and you watching what other people doing, especially like the Southern cooks and whatnot. I seen people talking about it. Oh, that gave me another thing that I just saw too. And it's just one of those things that like my brain was just like, I don't know how this is gonna work, and I got to try it for myself to see if I'm gonna like it. So I had totally forgotten about it till it was brought up right there. But I definitely got to try it one of these days. I don't know if I'm gonna make it myself. I don't want to mess it up, but I am curious to see how it tastes. And I wonder who got that idea. There's certain dishes where you just like, yo, where'd you get this idea from? Like, so check it. I saw this chick the other day, and she was making oxtails, right? You know, everybody talking about oxtails right now. Everybody want to make their oxtails and whatnot. And so she cooking up her oxtails, and then out of nowhere, this chick brought out ricotta cheese. I'm like, yo, what the hell is she about to do with this ricotta? And then she took it and she brought out some pasta for lasagna. And this chick made oxtail lasagna. And I was in awe. Like, I was straight up like, yo, lady, you are an absolute genius. An absolute genius. She had a sauce going with it. She basically made like a oxtail bolognese in a way, and then she put the ricotta in there and she just layered that joint together. And when I tell you, like, I fell in love with this dish just from watching her make it, and I'm like, yo, I might have to recreate this, yo. I might have to do it myself. And that store that I was just telling y'all about, that Caldi's place, man, they got like all these different types of, fresh pastas, and they got all these different kind of lasagna noodles and all that kind of stuff. Like, I gotta try it. I don't know where I'm gonna get the oxtail from. That's the only downside. I might have to use some ribs and slow cook the ribs and mince it up the same way she did. But like, yo, she touched my heart when she made that. Like, I ain't never been touched like that. She caressed my heart. And I just thought it was one of the most beautiful things that I had seen on the internet. The internet has been stressing me out lately. My mental health has been pretty bad just because of all the stuff that I'm seeing on the internet. And that lady was a breath of fresh air. She made me feel so good doing that. Yo, don't it sound good, man? Don't it sound good? Like, the idea to even think of that is just absolutely brilliant, yo. The homie said he's gonna do some spare ribs. Let me say he's gonna do some spare ribs with homemade blackberry barbecue sauce. Go ahead and get busy, yo. Post pictures of that on the internet when you make that shit happen, man. That sounds phenomenal. Oh, you saw the oxtail lasagna too? Yeah, instantly, dude. But like the way I reacted to seeing this chick, man, I was just like, because I'm watching, I'm like, okay, you got another oxtail thing, and I was like, what, ricotta? Where you going? What? I was in love, man. I just wanted to pull up to her crib. Fred said he saw it too. Oh, that's a good one right here. Oxtail pho. Oh, that sounds like it's money. My favorite thing from eating Vietnamese, I don't know if you guys ever had this yet, it's bun duc viet. Bun duc viet is when they have like the chicken skewer, the beef skewer, the pork skewer on top of vermicelli, and it's dry. So it's like not dry as in like, crispy dry, but it's not like in pho. So then you put all your sauces in there. You put your soy sauce and what's the sweet sauce? I can't think of the name of it right now. You put the sweet sauce in there and you mix all that shit up together. I haven't had like good Vietnamese in a while. There's a Thai lady I tell you guys about out here that cooks all the time. That's my lady. Her name is Gay. That's my lady. She don't know how much I dig her right now. She's been treating me so good. But I haven't had good Vietnamese in a while. So like having some really good pho or some really good bun duc viet would be crazy. I would love to get that right now. That would be outstanding. I said I do an oxtail soup, famous amongst the peers and family. You sound like y'all cooking it up, man. I dig that. He said y'all making me hungry as hell. I know it's late at night for y'all too. Y'all could be having midnight snacks and shit. Hey man, y'all come kick it with the EKB, man. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk some food and we're gonna talk cigars, man. The awesome thing about cooking is you can throw your own stuff together and get people's responses to it. That's the spot, Coop. Like, sorry, I had to savor this for a second. I didn't want it to go out either. But that's the spot where like when I was a cook, man, that's what I fell in love with cooking for. The creativity of being able to make food and get people's reaction when you cook something that's dope. I worked in this kitchen quite a few years ago, back when I lived in Norfolk. It was a restaurant in Virginia Beach, and when I came out of culinary school, a lot of people was just looking at me like, "Yo, he a schoolboy. He ain't built for the kitchen yet." You know what I'm saying? And you get that kind of reaction. It is what it is. But all of y'all know, like when you work in kitchens, you have what's called family meal. And family meal, a lot of the times, it's like they just throw like somebody that's not super busy in the kitchen. They're like, "Yo, you got to make family meal right now. You got to cook for everybody to make sure everybody eat." When you finally get a chance to just stop and make food, and that's the chance for everybody that's in the kitchen to come together. Everybody bond. You try different meals. And this is like your coming out party. This is a moment where you show people what it's like to what your experience is, and what and it's almost like a test in a way. So I don't think people in there really thought I could cook, right? So my thing was like, I made a lot of stuff from scratch, and especially when I was coming out of culinary school, man, I was still in international cooking, and I was still like experimenting with a lot. I love to make Indian food. I made my own ghee, I made korma, vindaloo, you name it, like I was making it. So I made butter chicken one day just for the crew. And everybody was just kind of looking like sideways, like, "Yo, what is this cat doing?" I grabbed everything, luckily we had some ghee on hand, and, I just got busy and I threw it together. And the chef at the time was a cat named Tyson. And Tyson, like, I rock with Tyson. We still friends to this day. What up, big dog, if you ever watch this? And I don't think he really thought I could burn like that. And he was eating my butter chicken. And he was like, "Yo, this tastes like real Indian food." I made, chapati. I made naan. You know what I'm saying? I got busy, right? I made a compote out of like some what was it? I'm trying to think back, but I know I was using like a mango. It was almost like a mango compote, and I threw that together. And when the homie stopped, and he was just like, "Yo, this tastes like real Indian food." He still never put me on the saute line, but it's just the fact that I was like, "I told you I could burn, yo. If you give me a chance, I could burn." But just to see his reaction to him, like when he scraped the plate, that's the best thing for a cook, when somebody eats all of your food and they clear the plate and they stop talking, they just smash it. That's when you know you got busy. You feel me? And he the head chef. So when I had the head chef talking about like, "Yo, I didn't know you could do this," that really made me feel, wonderful on the inside, man. So that's what it was all about, man. I still kind of lost a lot of my love for being in kitchens, but hey, it is what it is. I had my moments. Said can't go wrong with Vietnamese. If you need good caffeine, go get some of that Vietnamese coffee. I don't really drink coffee like that, but my wife absolutely loves that. There was a spot in, if you guys ever in Norfolk, Virginia, there's a spot, I hope it's still there, called the Great Cigar, and they had some of the best Vietnamese coffee. And they had some of the best, like their Vietnamese food was outstanding too. I ain't been there in a minute, so I don't know if they got it. And I think they was like running drugs out of that place because it wasn't like packed, but they had the best food and their quality was always good. I was like, "Yo, how do y'all stay open, man?" Like, I don't know. He said, "I seen people throw $1 ramen into a 5-star meal." For sure. That's when you know you can burn, yo. He said next month. I already said grilling up some tomahawks. Okay, get busy with that. You doing the ribeye joints? Here's my thing. Like, look, I love a good tomahawk, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it's a waste of money. Here's why. Because if you're not slow cooking, if you're not doing a braise or something like that, where you're gonna have a stock or you're gonna have a sauce, that bone is actually just wasting space, and it's actually like you're not getting any extra flavor onto your meat. So you better off just buying a really thick ribeye and then just go from there. And only use the bones if you're making like ribs, or if you're making braised ribs or something like that. If you're making a stock, that's when the bones are gonna come in handy. this is a butcher's trick to get people to spend more money on their food, so you don't waste the bones. So you pay for your meat by weight, so you're paying for the weight of that bone plus the meat that you're getting. So I would highly recommend, just unless you just like the look of tomahawks, just get a thick ass ribeye or a thick ass strip and go from there. That's just my little chef special. Yeah, man. Like when you cook for people and they tell you that your food is money, man. He said Mom Dukes was pissed I didn't go to culinary school. And honestly, man, I feel that. And I'm not mad at culinary school, man. I think it was one of the best experiences that I had in my life to be able to graduate. I went to the White House and I met like a lot of different chefs, especially a lot of the celebrity chefs that was out at the time. I met Big Daddy, Bobby Flay, Kat Cora. What's the other chick that looked like Guy Fieri? She wasn't really nice. I can't remember what her name is. Amberell, I think that was her name, Amberell. I met her while I was there, and it was a good experience. I got some really good friends that I'm still cool with, since I came out of school. But I feel like the actual experience of working your way up through a kitchen would be the best way to do it. It's hard. It's really tough. You guys watch The Bear. You guys know what that is tough. But I feel like just getting the basis of French cooking and having that as a foundation is a great thing. But the experience that you get from culinary school and that you get from actually working in kitchens are like two different experiences. It's a different world. So, and it's a lot of money to go to culinary school. So it's kind of a trade-off. Sorry, I went back to that comment that I already had. Oh yeah, the hood spots are like the hole in the wall spots are always the best food spots, especially like with the soul food and the Asian spots. The hood spots are always the one that you want to go to. Always the best. Stick God, what's good, man? What you been smoking on, homie? How you been? Yeah. I'm just saying, like, so save your money, man, and get a thicker cut. Don't buy the bone, buy the meat. That's just my little chef special right there. All right, y'all. Like real quick before this opus goes out. One, I want to talk about this opus really quick, and then I want to get into a serious topic. And so y'all know how I do. Every now and then I go into something serious while I'm talking about this. So I'm gonna do that in a sec. But one thing that I loved about this Opus X, especially once I got into the heart of it, the creaminess of this cigar is really what stood out. I appreciate Opus in the sense that it's a much lighter Cuban tobacco, but that sweet cream profile with the cedar is actually really beautiful. And I think that's what a lot of people fall in love with. And this cigar was given that in droves. There's absolutely no pepper to this cigar. And it's a nice woody, nutty note on the retrohale, but that cream body that you get on the palate when you take this is a phenomenal cigar. It's still not as good to me as the Eye of the Shark, but it's definitely like giving it some really good competition. And I want to give a shout out to the homie Mike, was Cigar Carpenter. Y'all go watch his shootout for the Sharks, man. That was some really good entertainment for Shark Week. That was a beautiful thing. He said, and the Cuban spots are good as well. That's something cool that I never got a chance to have, like, because I didn't live in Florida, and there wasn't really like a huge Cuban community in Virginia when I lived there, and it definitely wasn't in North Carolina, man. But I've been to some before, just like traveling. I really wish I had a really good Cuban spot, because Cuban sandwiches are phenomenal, man. I really wish I had that opportunity, like, to go and explore that on a regular basis, because that's that's something like when I'm not eating healthy and you can get a good Cuban. God, man, that thing, man, it's beautiful. What up, homie? James, how you been, bro? What you smoking on tonight, man? It's good to see you, baby boy. Glad you up in here. All right, I'm gonna get deep for a second right now, and I'm gonna go deep. I'm gonna talk about this subject without talking about politics, because I really don't want to talk politics right now, but I do want to bring awareness right now to Sonya Massey. So I don't know how many of y'all gonna stay with me on this one, because I know it's not on the cigar topics, it's not on the food topic. This is kind of a hard left turn. But we were talking earlier about, being from the South, and you got people from the South, they got their way of speaking, right? And they got their vernacular, and they got their way of saying things. So I don't know how many of y'all are following the news on what happened with Sonya, but it's probably one of the most tragic things that I've seen. And it's a lot of people that have been, taken out by the police. And the police got a tough job within themselves. And any kind of court system has a tough job within itself. But nobody right now should have to worry about calling the police that are meant to protect and serve to your home and to make sure you're safe and not be able to come out alive in that situation. Watching that video was probably one of the most tragic things that I've watched in a while. And I'm going to tell you why this is more tragic than a lot of the other things that have happened. Because let me put these up while y'all talking about cigars that are right here. What up, Tech? He's smoking that Brulee Blue, so that's a good smoke as always. But one thing about this whole situation, right, is that I don't know if it was intentional. I know shooting her was intentional. I know that whole thing was intentional. But and Coop saying he don't watch the news, and I understand why, because it's really tough to watch. And I got a bright side to that in a minute too. I got a bright side of that. What I want to talk about here is the communication within cultures, right? All of you need to take a step back and take a look at your friend group. How diverse is your friends? Like the people that you invite over to your house to cook out with, to have a beer with, to have cigars with. How diverse is your friend group? Do you got people from the South? Do you got people of different religions? Do you got people from different ethnicities? Do you got people of different age groups? How diverse are the people that you're around? Because what made this whole situation so tragic is they shook this lady down for no reason. She's in her own home, and they're asking her to ID herself, to show her ID, and then they asked her to get up to go and take a hot pot off of the table. She was boiling water. She was cooking, and they said to her, "I want you to take that pot off because I don't want your house to burn down while we're in it." How many of you have ever started a fire boiling water? Make that make sense. Like boiling water. First of all, the water has to boil out in order for that to happen. And then the pot that's made of metal would have to catch on fire and start a fire in the house. It doesn't make sense. So then for her to to pick it up and for the cop to get threatened and pull his weapon out because the lady did what he asked her to do. Then he tells her, and then she put her hands up and she apologized. And they were making a joke, and they were joking in the middle of the whole conversation. And her joke was, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." For all of you Southern people that know, and especially coming from like Southern Baptists, and especially from Southern African American cultures, that whole statement that she was saying, she was playfully saying that you're wrong. And she was just basically saying like, yo, playfully saying like, yo, I'm not messing with you right now. Like, yo, I'm just playing around with you. And he shot her multiple times. And he didn't have his camera on. Luckily, the other cop had his camera on. And for him to say that initially when he was sending in the report, he was saying that those were self-inflicted wounds. How are you going to shoot yourself multiple times with a gun? And it's one of the most tragic and sad things that this lady lost her life because she needed help. And because she was playing with the officers thinking that she was going to be okay. And when she saw the guy drew on her, and you could hear the fear in her voice and you could see the fear in her eyes and the panic, I'm getting teary-eyed just talking about it. But the main thing here is that even if he wasn't doing this maliciously, because to me that the way it was set up, that he had all plans on shooting this lady down and killing her. The thing about it is that he used her. He used the joke as the setup, as the way to take her out and to kill her. And anybody that knows, when somebody in the South says, "Oh, bless your heart," y'all, you know that it's a sarcastic way of saying, you know, like, do better, right? It's not malicious. It's not mean. It wasn't anything to be vindictive. It was playful banter. And he shot the lady dead. And the reason why I'm bringing this specific part up is because people got to understand what was really happening in that moment. There was no reason for that lady to die. There was no reason for that man to be that angry about what she said. Nothing in there should have caused any kind of violence, especially from someone that was wearing a badge. And the part that I want to touch on is that within this atmosphere right now on the internet, everybody's divided. Everybody's playing for whatever team that they're on right now. And people are just trying to make things and point fingers and look at the opposition. But this is a moment where the people who need to be talking about this situation are dead silent. And it's a lot of people that are ignoring this and not really, like, everybody from every background should be standing up to be able to say this lady should not have died. And that this should have been taken care of in a much more sane and civil way. And nobody should ever have to live in fear where they can't call for an ambulance, where they can't call for the police force, they can't call to their firefighters, and they can't call and ask their neighbor for help without feeling like their life will be in danger. And I feel like if people were really trying to be in a place where they were making genuine friendships and learning to understand somebody else's culture, somebody else's vernacular, somebody else's way of speech, the way people cook their food, the way people dress. I think if people was trying to get an understanding of what culture really is, and culture is a terminology right now that's thrown out so much, that the essence of what culture means is the way of life. So whether if you come from a tribe, if you come from a religious group, if you come from a business group, everybody has culture. If you're from the North, if you're from the South, if you're from the West Coast, if you're from the Midwest, all of these areas have culture. And what we need to be able to do is have everybody come together and really take a look at people and understand who and what we are as a culture. With me living here in Japan, my way is like, I am a foreigner. I am gaijin. I am an outsider. I have to understand their culture. If they're silent on the train, then I should be silent on the train. If they eat different foods, then I need to try basashi. I need to try sushi. I need to try whatever food they have so I can understand what they eat and why they eat that. why they dress the way that they do, why they do their hair the way that they do, why they run their business the way that they do. Because that way, I'm never going to be their enemy, and they're not going to be my enemy. And the major breakdown here is that cop didn't understand this woman's culture. And because he didn't understand this woman's culture, he feared her culture. And he was so scared that he brought out a gun and shot a lady down that was half his size, that was completely unarmed, because he was scared, because he did not understand her. And that's the part that really got to me, man. That's the part that was like, I wish more people were talking about that and could understand why the circumstance happened the way that it happened. So Lawrence said that's just how we talk. Facts. Let me get to what some of the comments. So Fred said, that was a tragedy, bruh. Like, bro got mad because he said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And he got mad. But honestly, I think about that. I think that he got mad because he probably took it in his assault on his religious perspectives, that he thought her religion wasn't as good as his. And it comes from the same foundation. And I think it was just any reason to get him a chance to pull that trigger, because he was trigger happy. He wanted to shoot her down. He wanted to do it. And I feel like that power that somebody has is like, I have the capability to shoot you and nobody's going to do anything to me. I'm glad they got him. I'm glad that the other cop was trying to help out. But that's really the thing, man, that like, it was just a gateway. He said, and one of the cops is already convicted of murder, so how in the hell was he still on the force? Yeah, dude, that's the real scary part, man. They did a lot in his background, because he had a shaky military background too. He said that dude came into her house with bad intentions from the jump. He worked for 6 different agencies in 4 years. His ass should have been fired a long time ago. And for people to be able to get a pass like that is what's really the scariest thing about that, Stephen. We already posted that one. And he said, if someone gets fired for cause for more than one precinct, got to get blacklisted. Something is wrong, and they should never have a firearm. They should never be able to have that in their possession, because it gives you too much power, man. Your anger is gonna go through those bullets. So yeah, he said most of the conservatives I've seen online are blaming her for her death and laughing. See, and if no, you know, that's the part that is scary about this. Like, I don't want to point blame at other people, but that's the part that I'm talking about, where people are taking sides. And there should be, if anybody is looking at this logically, and you're not coming from a political perspective, and there should be no way that you can justify this lady losing her life the way that she lost her life. Nobody should be able to justify that. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. And that's the part that scares me the most about this. And what everybody is saying about how this dude has already had a track record of going against the law and going against everything that, you know, he took an oath for, and they allow him to continue to be out there. It never should have been able to escalate to this point where this lady could lose her life like that. Coop said people are afraid to go to get to know people. It's just easy to judge instead of talking. And that's the part that's so frustrating about this, Coop. That's the part that is so concerning to me, is that if you really go out of your way and you try to get to know people, it's a lot easier to work together. But the hard part is to get past xenophobia. The hard part is to get past your own personal insecurities. And that's the part that is so frustrating. He said, Peter M said, you know, why was a gun deployed and not a taser if he was scared? That's the thing. He wanted to use that gun. And it was, and for real, this lady is half your size. You got on tactical gear. You got on police uniform. What could she have done in that time frame that your life was going to be in danger? Like, even a taser wasn't even necessary, but a taser should have come first before a gun. That's exactly it. So the only thing is, in that particular case, man, you have to want to take somebody's life in order to do that. And that's the saddest part about it. And that's the saddest part about it. And this lady didn't deserve that. But the reason why I wanted to bring that up, man, is not to like make this difficult. I just want people to, I want to bring it together where everybody is willing to just at the sound of my voice, everybody is here. I love everybody that comes into my channel. I love everybody that watches. Everybody that watches the Vintage Cigar is from different backgrounds, and you guys allow me to talk about complex, subjects such as this, and then we all are able to talk cigars. We're able to talk food. We're able to talk music, and we're able to learn about each other's backgrounds and learn each other's cultures. And I just want people to be able to see that there's a way that you can actually take time and have discourse and make friends and connect with each other without living in fear of the other person. JD said a lot to unpack, definitely complicated issues. The media is using this to divide us, and that's where we fail because it's working. And dude, like JD, like I was talking about this as well, because I really felt like the timing of this is really bad. And it's like, I almost feel like this dude, like I made a post on Facebook that said like we are collateral damage, that we're using human beings as collateral damage. If you look at this assassination, you look at the attempted assassination on the former president, and you look at all the stuff that the way people are using the police force, and they're using ethnicity, and they're using sexuality as a way to divide people, and it's ramping up at this time. I see why Coop was saying like, yo, I don't want to watch the news right now because it's there to divide. And I'm bringing up this topic to show like, yo, there shouldn't be this kind of divide. There should be a way to totally look at this where there could be a logical discourse where your perspective on your religion, your perspective on your sexuality, your perspective on your race, and your perspective on political affiliations should not matter. It's just the fact that another human being was shot that was unarmed after making a joke and after calling somebody for help. That should never happen. Let's take everything out of it, take all of the complexity out. This lady was in her own home and called police for help and was shot down in cold blood. It should never happen. There should have never been that much of a miscommunication. We have too many books. We have too many different languages. We have so many different ways that we are able to articulate ourselves and communicate that this should never come up. And it should never be an issue. It should never be a place that we don't understand our neighbor next to us, that we got to get to this place. It should never happen. He said, if you pay attention to her from the beginning, she was already troubled and scared. It's like she knew there was going to be some BS. Look, Lawrence, we already know that a lot of us in general are apprehensive about just being stopped, for a traffic stop. We also know that a lot of us are nervous just from walking down the street. We're nervous to invite people into our home, and we shouldn't feel that way. And we shouldn't have those kind of nerves. And that couldn't be the case. But yeah, she was already apprehensive. But being in the fact that she's already scared that somebody is coming to jack her, she thought there was a prowler. She's already nervous that somebody is around her home and that she's not feeling safe in her own place. Even if this is in her own mind, she shouldn't have to be living in that type of fear. One thing that I'm happy about here is like, I'm never looking over my shoulder where I'm living at right now. I don't worry for my kids. I don't worry for my wife's safety. I don't worry for my own safety. Later tonight, I'm going to go out for a run, and I'm not worried about running at night. I'm not worried about somebody stopping me and pulling me over. I'm not worried about somebody pulling a weapon on me. I'm not worried about somebody asking me for my ID and checking who I am. I'm not worried. And that's the way that it should be. Said I feel like a lot of this could be helped by having some of the community policing themselves. I know transplants have been an issue in places. Fostering connections and having community police is key. There's a lot to that, Moses, that I kind of want to expound on, but I don't want to get into the political side. But the small portion of that is that anybody that you hire should be vetted, and in any place that you're giving someone the power of a badge and the power of a firearm, they should be extremely vetted to the point where that they don't have any kind of biases, they don't have any kind of discrimination towards other people. And if there are any kind of signs of that, you shouldn't be able to get into that position. That's the main thing that I'm gonna say on that. Anytime I have any interactions with the law, I kind of miss the other part of that, or that you're gonna add to that. So I'm gonna see what you're gonna say. But going based on what Coop was saying about why he doesn't like to watch the news and stuff like that. I haven't really been. I've been trying to check out on it myself because I don't want it to affect my mental health. I don't need my stress levels to be up any more than what they are. I'm really trying to be in a space in my 40s right now where I'm at peace, where I'm comfortable with the people around me, and I don't feel like I got to stress over anything. That's really a major point for me right now. Okay. D said I stay as calm as possible. I never want to get law enforcement any reason to shoot me, but she didn't, and she still got shot. That's the sad part about it. And she was thinking that way too. The lady was apologizing to him and still got shot. But yeah. That being said, a homeboy of mine that was in here, my man Fred, not Cigar Head TV Fred, but my Fred, my homie Fred from back home. He was a childhood friend. He sent me a meme the other day, and this lady has a daughter, and the daughter had I don't even want to call it a speech impediment. She had a fear of speech. So the daughter was using nonverbal communication, right? So the daughter would, find different ways. She would draw pictures. She would write messages. She would sign. She would do anything she could to express herself, but she was afraid to talk. And the mom had never heard the daughter say, "I love you." She was like, "I know my child loved me because, the child would give me, these big hugs." And as a father, I'm watching this video, and when I'm seeing the daughter give the mom the hugs and not speaking, it brought tears to my eyes. I don't know if it's just because I got 3 kids. I don't know if it's because I'm getting in my 40s, I'm getting up in age, but that was one of the most enduring videos that I ever seen. So the lady gives her daughter her phone. The daughter was saying that, she was communicating to her that she wanted to get the phone, and she wanted to go and take pictures of things that she thought was beautiful. So the little girl is taking the camera, and she's going around and she's showing, all the different things that are around her. She's taking video of bugs. She's taking video of the grass. And the little girl started talking. And the little girl said, "Look at this. This bug is beautiful. It's a caterpillar or butterfly." And she said, "Look at the grass. It's so green and it's so soft." And she said, "Look at the sky. The sky is so blue. And look at the clouds." And she said, "Oh, look right here. This is my mother. She's so beautiful. I love her so much. She's the best mother in the world." And the mother is up ahead in the viewfinder. And the mother didn't know that the daughter was talking this much. So the mother gets back and she gets the camera and she goes back through the video. And this little girl is talking so eloquently and talking so beautifully. And that was like, this is what I want the news to be like. I know it can't be all the bed of roses and it can't be all positivity. There's always going to be weather. There's always going to be, downturns in the economy. There's always going to be car accidents or whatever the case may be. But to balance it out with just this kid using technology to get herself more comfortable in her speech and to be able to express her love for her mom in that way, that was one of the best things that I had seen in a long time. And I can't tell you guys how happy that made me, especially for someone like myself that I've been working with a lot of these, kids in Japan. And I've been teaching this mom and this and a daughter. The mother's name is Shuko and the daughter is Toko-chan. And the daughter, I think she may be 4 or 5 years old. So her language, isn't that high as is. And the mother only speaks a little bit of English. I only speak a little bit of Japanese, but we communicate for an hour every Tuesday. And this little girl and we're bonding so much because we're finding different ways to communicate with each other. We draw pictures to each other and we use flashcards and we do all these different things. And she's teaching me how to say different things in Japanese. We go through animals and we go through colors, we go through shapes. So she's teaching me as much as I'm teaching her, but at the same time, we're bonding, right? I come from a completely different world than this little girl has ever seen. I'm literally 4 to 5 times older than she is. Right? But the fact that we're able to bond and we're able to make this communication, and her mother and I are able to talk music and we're able to share. She's sharing, the music that she likes with me and telling me different things about Japan. And I'm telling her places to explore. She's recommending food to me and we're communicating. Just sitting down for an hour just to learn about each other. You feel me? And not necessarily being able to say exactly how I feel in their language. They know how I feel by just my way of just trying to find ways to communicate. And I'm saying this to say, just like what we were talking about earlier and how there was a lack of communication in different cultures, seeing the opposite end of that makes you understand, like, yo, there is a way out of this mess that we're in. There is a way that we can, make this positive, that if you take the time to talk to your fellow brother, to talk to your fellow sister, talk to your fellow non-binary, whatever the case may be, if you take the time to understand where they're coming from, whether you agree or disagree or fully understand it or don't understand it, there's a way to coexist without anger and without hate and without fear. Because even if you don't agree with everything, there's still a way to operate within somebody else's society and understand why they make the choices they make. And as long as you're not deleting somebody from this life or you're not taking from them, everything is going to be all good. You don't have to walk in their neighborhood every day. You don't have to eat their food. But just have an understanding of why they operate the way they operate. And you can tell somebody like, yo, how much you care about them and how much you understand. You know what I mean? And that's just me kind of getting on that soapbox with that joint, man. So let's see. Stephen said, when I was in the military, we had rules of engagement and was held accountable to them. There needs to be stricter rules and consequences for the police community. And the same thing for the military too, because this guy was a military cat. And all of that goes the same, But the thing about it, Stephen, is when you talk about rules of engagement, you have to want to abide by those rules, right? You have to have that level of integrity to say that you're going to abide by those rules. When I'm walking in this country, if I'm on a military base, Ian was up in here, and I'm not the most political dude in the world. I'm not the most religious person in the world. I'm completely agnostic, right? But when I'm watching the Deadpool movie, since I'm on this military base, they play the national anthem, right? They play it before every movie. I stand up because I'm on this military base, and I stand in respect to what they're doing. When I'm out in Japan, if I'm on the trains and if I'm traveling, if I'm on the buses, I'm as quiet as a church mouse. Why? Because that is their culture. That's the way they do things. I respect the way they do things. That's the rules of engagement. Now you're always going to have people like, so right now there is a place in Kyoto that's not too far from here. It's it's a few hours away from here. A lot of you, if you know anything about Japan, you know Tokyo, you know Osaka, you know Kyoto. Kyoto has a district called Gion. Gion is highly tourist traffic because there's so many people who love to see the geisha, and they love the temples and all that kind of stuff, and they love to eat the food in Kyoto. So all the people are going out here, and of course they're taking pictures and they're trying to absorb this culture and all this kind of stuff. But there are people who are going against the grain, and they're touching the geishas, and they're forcing them to take pictures, and they're invading people's space. One thing about Japan is when they greet with a bow, they greet with words. They don't touch unless you really know somebody really well. So breaking those rules of engagement, when people are breaking those rules, now they're not allowing many tourists to be in that environment. Why? Because they're breaking the rules of engagement. And if people would take the time to understand and listen to other people's cultures and just to be patient, then these people will invite you in. And this is what we got to do all over the world, especially in the United States right now. The level of divisiveness that's happening right now, and just like JD was saying, that a lot of it is being manipulated, not just by the media, but it's being manipulated by the people that we have put in power. And it's just really a frustrating thing, but it's really not about them. It's up to us individually that have to be able to say, I care about my fellow human beings. And I care about other people's cultures and their way of lives, and that's what really matters, right? I don't know, man. I wanted to have a way to get that off my chest and to have a platform. And I'll say this as I said 1,000 times. One of the most popular things right now with us is being brothers and sisters of the leaf, right? We are part of a cigar community, and I made this channel to have a community where I could speak to you guys and have conversations, get into deep thoughts, and smoke cigars, and then we can have fun, and everybody can learn different things about each other. And that's why, like, when the homie came on today, and he was like, "Yo, this is one of my favorite channels," that meant so much to me, man. That's just one of the nicest compliments that we ever heard. And the main thing about this is that I just wanted any and everybody to be able to come into the Vintage Cigar as a virtual lounge, and to be able to come and smoke the best cigars, have deep conversations, and just really enjoy just being around each other. And for you guys to sit and have these conversations with me, to talk with me for an hour, for 2 hours, for 3 hours, and however long that I go on these lives, and to come on to the infamous, show, to come on, with me, Fred, and Marvin as the Avengers, to come on to Unbanded, and everybody just to be friends and be friendly and just have a good time. It makes everything worth it. And that's why I go out of my way to have these kind of topics, to have these conversations, and to be able to discourse. And to have discourse, it's the most important thing. So I'm gonna leave it there, man. I'm not gonna go too hard. I'm not gonna derail everything, because I know that's a heavy topic. All right, let's kind of switch really quick. I want to see what y'all like. What's going on in y'all world, man? Because like y'all know what I love to do. I love to get y'all feedback on what y'all are talking about. So I just had to get that off my chest, man. I'm gonna have to take a sip of my drink. Man, that's damn good. I know I probably lost a few of y'all with that dialogue, man, but I had to get that off my chest, because I really didn't have another place to really talk about it. I can't go to izakaya here in Japan and have this conversation. And one thing about Japan is, like, they don't really talk about stuff like that. I learned that the hard way. Like I was talking with one of my friends, and when Senator Abe was randomly assassinated here in Japan, that's something that's rare that happens. Nobody would really go into a lot of detail about that. You know, they just kind of like, that's above me. I'm not really gonna do that, and my language is not good enough to have those type of conversations. But I will go back to this cigar. One of the best things, man, is when I started this channel today, when I started this live today, I was giving love to John. I was giving love to DJ for celebrating, like, you know, starting new jobs, and the community came together to help everybody else out. That was really cool. And John, I told him, you know, just when we were talking in the background, I was like, yo, dude, you gotta smoke one of your best cigars in order to have, like, you know, to celebrate this achievement, man, that you know that you back to work and all that kind of stuff. And he smoked one of the cigars that Sanj sent out to him. It was the box press LFD, and he had the cigar, and it was great. That's like one of the best feelings in the world, when you actually want to sit back and pick out a cigar and it smokes as good as you want it to. That's an amazing feeling. All right, let me see what Coop was saying. So Coop said, I got a 5K race tomorrow. Yo, that's what's up. I'm so glad you're bringing this up. He said, whoa. Hold up for a second. Let me put y'all on mute. I'm gonna get back to this. Don't go anywhere. Let me talk to my wife real quick. Sorry about that, guys. The wife called. So, all right. So, Coop was saying, you know, I got a 5K race tomorrow, but but that's why I got into running, was mental health. But the main reason was how cool this community is. That's what's up, man, and that's what helps. And I'm glad you brought that up, because look, I just got this watch. Like, getting back in shape right now and running has been my main thing, dude. I just bought some new Nikes. I got them for $35. I went down to the mall down here, and I got these running Nikes, and with the yen rate being low, and they were already at 30% off, I got a fresh pair of kicks for $35, and I'm going for a run tonight, man. So keep running like that, man. Let me know how you did in that 5K. One of the funniest stories I got, dude, I did a 5K when I lived in Virginia. I was in Virginia Beach, and I thought I was in good shape, right? So I'm running the 5K, and this little kid kept passing me. He kept smoking me. And I was like, man, I'm not gonna let this little kid, you know, keep passing me. So I'm running, and I'm running hard as I can, and he keeps smoking me. And then there was a speed walker that was ahead of me, and the speed walker, I couldn't keep up with him. He doing that little speed walking joint. You remember that Chris Paul commercial when he's speed walking? Yo, this dude didn't run. I couldn't catch him. And both of these cats finished the race before me, man. I was so mad. I think about that every time I go out running. Like, yo, I got to get myself back in shape, yo. I got beat by this kid. and a speed walker. And that joint still does not sit with me. So I'm going out for a run today. It's smoking hot out. Y'all can see how like I'm shiny right now. It's smoking hot out here right now. It's been like 90 plus degrees for the past few days, and it's been humid. So I'm not running in this. When the sun go down, I'm gonna go out and run today, man. So go out there, run for your mental health, run for your physical health. I'm gonna follow suit and do the same thing. I'm glad you brought that up, man, because I'm really into running right now too. He said, "Do you think Bronny will fully adjust to the league and step away from being a joke?" That's a tough one, man. Look, my thing with Bronny is he's playing a little bit better already, but I think his dad really set him up for failure. And the reason why I say that is like, I'm all for, people trying to put their kids in the best situation. I don't like the nepotism side of it, but the fact that he put that much pressure on his son to come into the league and the way they did it by, basically beefing up LeBron's legacy by being able to play with his son and putting him on a team like the Lakers that's already under a lot of scrutiny. He should have just allowed him to come into the league naturally so he can develop his skills. That kid obviously needed more time in college or more time in the D League to be able to develop his skill set. Do I think over time that he's going to get better? Yes, I do. But I don't think he's ever going to be great in the league. Maybe if he gets on Balco like his dad did and start taking all these drugs and all this kind of stuff, maybe that might help him improve. But just as far as like natural talent and his size, being 6'1", he's never going to be as good as his dad. And he's always going to have to live in his dad's shadow. And he's always going to have these expectations on him. And he's always going to have a target on his back. So every time, like when he gets into the league, he's always going to have people gunning for him. And they're going to make it hard for him to ever grow and to be a better player. So unless he has a level of mental fortitude to be able to work harder and stronger and faster than everybody else, he's just always going to be a role player, and he's at the max. And that's my expectations. I think he's going to get better. I don't think he's necessarily going to be a joke, but he's never going to be able to live up to his dad's expectations and what people have of him being the chosen one son. That's a tough position to be in, man. And I kind of feel bad that he has to be in that position because it shouldn't have to be that way. But only time will really tell, man. But that's my perspective on it. He said, I just finished up my last class for community college, man. Big shouts out to you, man. Major congratulations on that. He said, got some barbecue with the fam and smoking my best with you guys to celebrate. You don't get much better than that one right there, Moses, man. Like, cheers to you. I'm smoking this, this Opus X in celebration with you, man. I hope that cigar lives up to your expectations for that. I hope this is only just, the start for you, getting those classes up under your belt, getting ready to graduate. That's probably one of the best things that I've read in a while, man. Like that is making me happy. So big congrats to you, man. Major congrats to you on that. He said, my first race was a 2-mile race, and I thought the same thing until I saw the 45-year-old do it in 10 minutes and a 72-year-old do it in 13:50. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, we got we got a ways to go. So I'm 44. So I want to be that 45-year-old cat that's like, when they see it's like, oh man, this dude is super in shape. He's out there really running. And somebody gonna be trying to keep up with me when they see the gray in my beard and whatnot. That's what I want, Jack. That's what I want. I want to be that overhead that's in shape, man. So I'm gonna get out here and run. I'm counting my steps. I dropped weight. I went from 198 pounds down to 181 pounds, and I went and got these running shoes and going out here to run every day and got this watch and all this kind of stuff because I want to get to that place where I was in that conditioning and I want to get super lean. I want to cut off all this extra body fat. I'm probably at like, maybe 13 to 14% body fat right now. I want to get down to about maybe 10. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. I don't know what your goals are as of right now, man, but I would imagine it's something kind of in that same vein. And I just want to be in the place where, look, dude, I get to run through Japan, and I get to run up to these temples and run through these neighborhoods, and just kind of like I'm gonna hop in some races. I know the military is gonna be doing races and stuff like that. Just the stuff that keep me fit, keep stuff going, man. So like, dude, I'm proud of you for getting out there and running like that, man. Whether it's 2 miles, 10 miles, 3 miles, whatever the case may be. That's dope, bro. Yeah, man, we both got major work to do, bro. You said poor kid. Is this for Bronny? Yeah, man, his dad really put him in a bad situation, man. I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, though. Because you almost can't say poor kid, because the dude got $1 million contract. He ain't got to worry about money. He's playing in the NBA. He got to live out his dream. He gets to play alongside of his dad. But as an individual, as a man, you don't necessarily want to be in your dad's shadow. You kind of want to make your own mark. So the fact that his dad put him in a place where he cast a shadow over him, that's the part that worries and concerns me about it the most, man. That's the part that really makes me feel like this could have been done another way. And I know, Bron selfishly kind of wanted to have that thing to one up Jordan and to build up his own legacy, to say that like he's one of the greatest ever and he got to play with his son. But the difference is like Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr., when they did that, Ken Griffey was seen as one of the best prospects to ever come into baseball when he was going into baseball. His dad was on the lower end of his trajectory, and he was never looked at. He was always looked at as a good player, but he wasn't looked at like one of the greatest ever. So, Ken Griffey Jr. wasn't in his dad's shadow. That was just a beautiful moment in sports. And I understand that LeBron is always trying to create these narratives, but to put your kid in that situation for your own ego is kind of like a fucked up thing to do, man. It's really messed up. He said, I'm wanting to try to do a sub 20 for my 5K tomorrow. Hey, man, that's the beautiful thing. You got that goal set up. And if you remember, let me know, because I want to know what you do. Like, I want to know, like, whether you get it or not, man. I just want to know what effort you put out there. I'm dead ass serious. I want to know the feedback. I want to know how that goes for you, man. I just want to see, because I'm tracking all of my numbers and I'm tracking everything. And I just love being able to set those kind of goals and achieve those kind of goals and push through it. Especially for us as, cigar smokers, it's also kind of cool to show people that like it's not like smoking cigarettes. We still can improve our health. We can improve our breathing, and we can, improve our mental health while we're going through this, man. It's a beautiful thing. I want to know what you get out of that. Moses said, thanks, man. This 146 is blowing blowing that 151 out. That cayenne flavor on the wrapper at the start was just crazy good. It's a nice note, man. And it's one thing, like out of those Placencias, they don't taste like a normal Placencia. They don't taste like normal Honduran. They actually got like a lot more complexity in that, and that cayenne, that little bit of spice in there actually gives it a little bit of a kick. That 146 is major. And I think the 149 is a little bit smoother and sweeter, man. I just love those, man. That 151 was just too earthy, too woody, too dry. It just didn't give the same effect as those other ones, man. That's my opinion on it. Mr. Fabulous said, "What's good, bro? Life is good, man. I hope you're good as well, and health is wealth indeed." I'm just looking at it now, man. Like, my kids are in swim right now, and I'm trying to motivate them on a daily basis to think about their own health and what their health should be like, starting at a young age, getting in conditioning, thinking about their mental health, thinking about, starting hobbies and, being able to, to build a foundation on how to be better people and to stay strong early, so I give them chores. They do their chores on their own. I give them workout plans. They just passed the level 4 swim test just 2 days ago. And then they're going into the swim team starting next week. And I felt like, for me, being the parent, if I'm not leading by example, they're never really going to see what it's really like to take care of your body, to take care of your hygiene, to take care of your health. I want to set a good example for that, you know. So I want them to, you know, when they're looking at their dad in his 40s and 50s, they're seeing somebody that's in good shape. Their body's not falling apart. My knees are strong. You know, my body's strong. I'm lifting heavier. I'm running. I'm swimming. And, you know, I'm doing all these type of things, and I eat well on a regular basis. Yeah, I still take them to McDonald's. I still take them out to eat food, but they also see when we're making dinner at night, we're making full course meals. We're making stuff that they can, you know, and I'm teaching them how to cook. I'm teaching them how to fend for themselves. And honestly, I don't talk about this a lot. I know I mentioned to you guys that my pops passed away when I was 9 months old. And I didn't have anybody to show me how to work on cars or, you know, how to maintain my body. My, you know, my inspiration was Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, and Bruce Lee. And that was my way of like seeing like this is how I condition myself. This is how I position myself to be in a position to get stronger. But I want them to see like, yo, if dad is doing this on a regular basis, if mom is doing this on a regular basis, then this is how we're going to live our lives, and this is how we're going to do and to improve ourselves as well. So that's why, you know, that's a big thing for me, man. And like you said, health as well, for sure. Did I already see this one? Yeah, boom, I did that one. So Cool said, yeah, you know, I'll let you know for sure. Do you have a Strava app? It's a running app. I don't have Strava, so I'll go take a look into that today. So everything that I'm using right now is basically through Google and basically through like this Fitbit that I got. So if Strava is going to give me a lot more detail, you know, in my running routes and all that kind of stuff, I need to get that. So matter of fact, let me take a note for that right now. Boom. My bad, y'all. I just wanted to pull this up because you know, my memory is horrible, man. I'll forget stuff like real quick. So I got to do that, man. You know, we talk about mental health. That's one thing I got to do. He said, yeah, that's another reason I started getting in shape. My son and my wife, strong man equals a strong family, no doubt. And I mean mentally and physically, no doubt. And I feel like, you know, it's for the whole unit. You know, my main thing is I want the whole unit to really feel like everybody is, you know, is striving to be their best. You know what I'm saying? And like, I'm nothing without my wife. And I don't know if she feels the same way. I'm pretty sure she feels the same way without me because we're a whole family unit. And you know, when I was talking about that news situation with that, you know, little girl, having my kids be able to even using the LeBron situation, I'm gonna get into that too. But like, you know, having my kids be able to look up to pops and be like, yo, my dad is working every day. He's working out every day. He's taking care of us every day. He's making sure the house is straight every day. He's giving us responsibilities. He's giving us chores. And to have that foundation and to have that trust that they believe in me and they believe in, you know, what I'm doing for the household is everything. It's not all necessarily about money, and all of that matters too. But I want them to, you know, everybody to, like, when they see us out as a family, they know that we're a unit and that they know that we're together, and, you know, that their hair is taken care of, their teeth are taken care of, their clothes are taken care of, and their body and their mind is taken care of. That when they greet other people, they're greeting other people, they're using their manners. Like, all of that is like a big deal to me, man. And I feel like, yo, if I'm not up to par, and if I'm not, you know, strong enough to maintain myself, then there's no way, like, you know, I can be taken off the census at any point in time. But while I'm here, everybody knows that dedication to this family is everything. That everybody is in a good space. So more power and more props to you. So yeah, Strava keeps up with everything, times of routes, and you run and everything. I just downloaded it. I just hit download on that. So we in there. Boom. So we good. Appreciate you for bringing that up to me, because I didn't know about that one, man. I was using everything just straight from this Fitbit, and I like it. I spent $200 on this damn watch, man, and I like it, but I don't love it. And, you know, because I was going back and forth of whether I wanted to get like a Garmin or whether I wanted to get a Galaxy watch or a Fitbit, and I felt like this Fitbit was going to do the main thing. It's tracking my steps, it's tracking my calories, it's tracking my heart rate, it's tracking my runs. That was the main thing. But just having a full map and to be able to map everything out for my run, that was everything. All right. We had 2 hours. We're coming down to the end of this Opus X. Y'all got anything else y'all want to throw out there? Any cigars that y'all recommend for me right now? Is anything that y'all recommend that I should be looking out for, that I should be smoking, that I should try? I know lately for myself, what I've been talking about was the Orthodox by Black Label Trading Company. I really enjoyed that cigar. The Bronze Back has been one of my favorite cigars as of late. That 149 from Placencia was a banger. This Opus X was really good. What else did I've had that's kind of like really, been treating me really good? Those are off the top of the cigars that I've really I've been in love with. The Red Meat Lovers was outstanding. We were talking earlier about the SB 1014. What about y'all? Anybody had the Charisma yet? I haven't had the Charisma yet, man. Like I was saying this not too long ago, that I'm seeing people smoke the Charisma, but I'm not seeing people give their feedback on what they think about the Charisma. Yeah, I think so too, man. I think it's serving the purpose right now, so I'm not really mad at it, man. That's the main thing with the Fitbit. It'll do the trick. I didn't want to spend the arm and the leg on all that kind of stuff. I just got other things that I need to spend money on right now, and I don't start like my real job. All the money that I've been getting right now has just basically been in the Japanese yen, which is cool, but I need to start making some more USD. So just throwing money into too much. I felt like this Fitbit is gonna serve its purpose, and it's gonna do everything I needed to do. But let's see. Have you ever tried brushing a cigar with alcohol before smoking it? You know what? Nah, man. And the reason why, and like, here's the thing. I don't drink. The most I'll drink is alcohol wise is wine on a rare occasion. And I've never tried that. It might work with the wine. And I know that the alcohol is going to burn away, and you're pretty much only going to give the flavors on it. But I know that was really popular when Schwarzenegger was doing the whole thing with the tequila and all of that. And all the people that I know that have done it have said it's just been it actually enhances the cigar and gives a good flavor in the profile and all that kind of stuff. But for me, I'm really trying to taste the tobacco more than anything, and I'm not really an alcohol drinker. The bright side of that is the way that it might be a good thing is that I've been very curious about trying different liquors because I want to develop my palate in that sense to understand whiskey, to understand bourbons and all that kind of stuff. I just don't have a desire to drink alcohol. That may give me a way to kind of open my palate to what these different alcohols taste like. I'm just not that type of cat that is just like, do I really need to enhance my tobacco like that? He said it makes for a soggy cigar. But okay, so here's the thing though with that, JD. Alcohol dries really quickly. It evaporates quickly. So I would imagine that if you're doing the brush technique, that you give it, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, that, the leaf being that it's dry is going to absorb a lot of the, whatever the components is in the alcohol. And then the alcohol itself is going to evaporate off. And then you're going to burn the rest of it off while you're smoking the cigar. And just scientifically, I think that's just how that will happen with the physics of it. But so if you give it more time to rest, does it dry? Does it give a different component? Because I haven't tried it for myself. That's, that would have to be a science experiment that I would have to try and see how that would work. But, I can see how that would make for a soggy cigar. That's funny. He said, I had a Rojas Peruvian Gold, bro, a little while ago. It was pretty good. I really dig that cigar, man. I like what Rojas is doing. He said, I finally dipped into Saka with the Brule Blue Killer Morning Smoke. That cigar, you can have it just about any time. But it is a great option for a morning cigar as well, too. And that was your first Saka? If it was, man, you started out on the high end, man. That's a really good way to go. I'm really curious to see what you would think about, Mi Querida, if you tried that one. But as far as the Rojas, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of what Noel Rojas is doing with his cigars. I would prefer a Peruvian Gold, a Statement, or what is it? I think it's the Blue Bonnet. Anything from that main line over anything like he's doing with the street tacos and all that kind of stuff. Like I didn't love the street tacos, but I think just in general, Noel Rojas makes just very pleasant and well balanced blends that give a lot of complexity flavor wise and things like that. And each of the cigars tastes different than the others. So I'm a fan, man. I'm glad you enjoyed that cigar. I don't know if it's something that you probably heard me talk about, Moses, recently, but I give high praises to it. Matter of fact, that Peruvian Gold might have been one of my favorites, man, just because like I like the Peruvian tobacco in general. But I just think that's just a great line, man. And he's a great blender. And I think he's highly, highly underrated. And it's just fascinating to me, man, that so many people love the look and the branding of the street tacos. And that's not his best work to me. And it's just the other ones are so understated. You just got the normal, Rojas band, and you got the little, smaller band to tell you whether it's Peruvian or it's the bonnet or whatever. And I just think like a lot of people overlook it just because they're so simplistic. But those are his best cigars. JD said, 2 great cigars in the past week. I smoked the Aladino Cameroon Reserva and the Barbara Amarella 2023. I want that Cameroon so bad. Peter from Cigar Collective has been talking about that cigar heavily. Sal has been talking about it. It's so many people that are smoking that cigar and like, yo, you got to have it. And y'all know I've been ranting and raving, about the Definition Cameroon, the RS88, and it's supposed to be on par with that. JD, do you put it on the same level as those cigars? Do you put it on the same level as the Don Carlos? I'm curious to your thoughts. Also to add, I didn't have the 2023 of the Barbara Amarilla, but that was one of the best Muestra de Sacas that I've had recently, like just in the previous iterations of that. And I told Saka like how much I love that cigar, man. That thing is money. It is so good. So I would love it, like you were saying, they were 2 great cigars. So I assume you liked them as much as I did. If you know, said I had the street tacos earlier in my journey. It made me throw up. God dang. Yo, what about that cigar made you throw up, B? To me, they weren't even that strong. I just thought they were mid. Not even just saying in the strength. I just thought flavor-wise they were mid. I was just like, yo, what is everybody raving about with these cigars? And like this is back when Ron Real was out and he was hyping that cigar up, and it was so many people that were just in the review game at that point in time. Was just like, oh, this is back when Pravada was at Pravada when it was at its hype, and people didn't know like all the stuff that they were doing behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff like that. People were really heavy on that cigar, and I tried it, and especially after like I tried someone, because I was late to the game. I was real late, and I tried it when I was trying, after I tried Noel Rojas, and I did Noel Rojas's, I did a review on that. I can't remember if it was Peruvian Gold. You guys go back through my catalog. It was either the Statement or it was either the Peruvian Gold. I can't remember. I did a review on it years ago, and I was like, I like this dude. I like this cat right here. So I was like, I gotta try these street tacos that everybody's talking about. So it was a letdown for me, man. Major letdown. I said very close to the DC. I think you're going to enjoy it a lot, man. I'm crossing my fingers on this one, JD. Like that's probably one of my most anticipated cigars that's being released right now. I think that's a cigar that like, that's highly, highly, on the top of the wish list. So I'm just excited, man. Tomorrow, if I'm around, we're on the infamous spot. We're going to be talking with Jamon from Definition Cigars. So I'm hyped to smoke that Cameroon tomorrow. And right now, those are the best of the best. So if it's up there with the DC, that's high praise, bro. So I can't wait to try that and see what that's hitting for. He said, which Micarita do you think I should start with? Thinking about grabbing the Dunbarton sampler from Lion Place. I think that's a good idea. I would go with the sampler. For me, God, that's tough. For me, I would say to start though, I would think going with the Micarita Blue, just the standard. But if you like a little bit of spice in your profile, the Tricky Traca is definitely a winner. They all have a baseline, that quintessential soccer earthiness that you get. And there's a savoriness to that cigar that you don't get from many other cigars. That it's an umami that really stands out. And I think all of them are well balanced. To me, the blue is the most balanced out of all of them. But if you're looking for like a little bit of a peak in the spice factor, Tricky Traca. If you like something that's smoother and sweeter, then you want to go with the black. So I honestly don't think you can go wrong with either. But the most even keel to me, the Micarita Blue is the baseline for Dunbarton and Tobacco and Trust. I think that is like the quintessential soccer cigar, because it's like a gateway into everything else that he's doing, from West of the Soccer to the Sin Compromiso to I won't quite say with the Sober Mesa, but it still kind of fits in with that, because the Sober Mesa line is a little bit different to me. But I think that Micarita Blue is like the flagship. It's the thing, it's the anchor, rather. It kind of holds everything down. It kind of gives you the baseline of like, if you can appreciate this cigar, you appreciate just about everything that soccer will do. Just because it's just like, this is, you could tell that this is like, okay, this is what I want to start from the ground up. And I kind of want to branch all of my cigars out from this cigar. That's my opinion. I hope that makes sense. I hope I was able to really articulate that well enough that it kind of covers all the bases. But for me, that's kind of like home base. The Umbagog and the Micarita Blue are kind of like the baseline. Everything else kind of branches off from there. And he will take you into a lot of different avenues and a lot of different flavor profiles, but there's always this familiarity to this base, earthy, savory note with his cigars. I feel like that's his home. But that's what I would highly recommend. And with the other cigars that you enjoy, I think if you like that one, that Micarita is going to be like, damn, I can that Micarita Blue, I can do just about anything with this one. If I pick this cigar for myself, that I just want to go like on a daily, like that I didn't have to worry about it. I know what the cigar is going to taste like. I know it can pretty much fit any mood, any time of day. That's the one I would go with. All right, Joe. I had a great time with that shark. That actually worked out, man. That put me in a good mood. It put me in a good space. And I think the fam and I are going to take a family trip out to Nagasaki today. Hopefully we get to go out to the Peace Museum. We're going to walk around in Chinatown and maybe go out and explore. We might stay overnight. If we stay overnight there, then I don't know if I'm going to be around for the show. I'll take a laptop with me so I can do the show with the fellas tomorrow. But I don't know how that's going to work out. If not, y'all stay tuned. The infamous pod will be on tomorrow night. We got Jamon from Definition Cigars that's going to be on. And we're going to kick it like good fellas. And that's it, man. I think that's it for the Vintage Cigar today. That was Smoke Your Best Cigars. Thank you for everybody that stayed on with me, man. I thank y'all for, coming on short notice. I know I always just kind of pop up out of the blue. I just try to, you know, squeeze in when I can. I try to come on a little bit earlier. I didn't want to smoke too early today. I didn't want to smoke at like 8 or 9 o'clock. So I came on around 10, 10:30. Yo, you be easy, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Let me throw these up, man. I appreciate the love, man. Thank you. Shouts out to you, Def. Shouts out to you, Shock. If you know, my man. Big peace to you, Moses. Peace. JD, peace to you if you're still on. Anybody that was still on, just kind of hanging with me, just listening that y'all couldn't, you know, reply or anything. Thank y'all for always making the conversation worthwhile. Thank you for smoking your best cigars with me, for any kind of feedback that you give. And everybody that went out of their way to support DJ and support John, I appreciate you, man. That's what the community is for. We here to, you know, to look out for our brothers, for our sisters, and always stay positive. This is what this communication is for. Coop, man, appreciate you, man. And yo, please don't forget, man. Let me know how that run goes, man. Stay healthy, stay strong. Everybody take care of your mind, take care of your body, take care of your fam, take care of your friends, take care of your neighbors. When I do my show on while I'm in Japan, I always end that show by saying, be kind to your neighbors all over the world. So smoke your best. Y'all keep smoking. And I'm going to go get the shower, man, and go hang out with the fam. Y'all be easy. Thank you. Peace.